Man, all I gotta say is, what the hell just happened? The Angels this year come in struggling. They're a team that, really hasn't had many, you know, big winning streaks. They've been playing pretty bad for the majority of the year. I think they're about 7 or 8 games under 500 when they came in. So bad so that I have a good friend out in California. His name is Ryan DePaul. He's on here. Artie Paul, 34. So much so that I got pretty cocky coming to this series. Thinking, something, the Tigers got swept in Anaheim, but that's not going to happen again. The Angels are doing pretty bad. So I texted him this. I don't know if you can read this. Sorry, got to sweep you this week. And he puts, weird. I was about to give you the same apology. And pay attention to this next text message I send him. I got a better chance of winning the lottery than the Angels sweeping the Tigers. All we got to do is put on Astros uniforms, then you guys can't beat us. And then he puts true. And then there's the putting the foot in my mouth. Boy, was I wrong. And he put I was right. Yeah, I looked like a total asshole after this series because let me tell you something. This series wasn't pretty, guys. Wow. Let's go into this one. This is first game. We come out. Ricky P's on the mound, and let's take a look at last time Ricky P faced the Angels. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 9 runs, and that was it. That's what inflated his ERA so high to begin with, because he had a good little stretch there. And remember, Ricky P went on that nice little 9-start stretch. He had a bad start his last time out. And all of a sudden, he's facing the Angels again. And guess what happens? Gives up a run in the first inning. Miggy has a really nice 2-run homer, gives him a 2-1 lead. And then the fourth inning happens. They put up an 8 spot on the Tigers. So after they get a couple runs, they take them out. The Tigers, I think it's 5-2 at this point, 6-2. Jim Leo puts in Darren Downs with the bases loaded. And guess what happens? Darren Downs reinsures that Ricky P gets all those earned runs. Because let me tell you something, Ricky P was having a lot of bad luck, man. You wouldn't believe all the cheap infield singles they got and how many little Twins hits there were. Nothing against the Angels, but man, those were rally starter hits. Let me tell you something, where the ball just rolls your way. But Darren Downs made sure all those runs scored, and Ricky P got charged 7 earned runs this game. And his ERA is over 5. I think it's 5.27 right now. And his 2 atrociously bad starts for Porcello in a row. A lot of it, some of it was his fault. He was giving up a lot of hits, even though a couple of them were cheapies. And this bears my point again, is Ricky P really turned the corner. He had a really good 9-start stretch, the most consistent stretch I've ever saw out of him. But is it legit? There you go, 2 straight starts of horrible pitching. So who knows? But Tigers absolutely got obliterated this game. They lost 14-8. And the only reason why it was 14-8 is because they got a couple runs in the 9th inning. I mean, I had to turn it off after the 6th inning. It was so bad. I mean, they literally got every single ball bounced the Angels' way in that 4th inning when they scored 8 runs. Like, it just squeaked past wherever the infielders weren't. It was just like, goddamn, I wish the Tigers had some of these rallies. So, Game 2, come out again, and Pedro Alvarez was making his 3rd start. And Tigers gave Alvarez a lead in the beginning, 2 runs right off the bat. And then the Angels rally in the 3rd to get 2 runs. The Tigers give Alvarez a lead again because Eric Ibar hit a homer. And then after Alvarez was done, the bullpen comes out. Gives up 2 runs in the 6th. Gives up 3 runs in the 7th. Tigers only get 1 back in the 8th. Lose again. I've noticed with Alvarez, since he's been up, man, I heard nothing about how much control this kid has with his fastball. I mean, he doesn't throw very hard, but he has a good curveball, and he has a changeup. He lives by changing speeds and stuff because he only throws 91. This guy, he tries to keep hitters off balance by being, very change it up, curves, change, fastballs. He's not just power and fastballs every time, but his command has been really bad. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but especially against right-handers, He misses off the edge almost every time with his slider or his curveball. Uh, he misses almost every time off the edge. He's always seems like he's away when he misses. He never really attacks the zone too much, and when he does, it's home runs. And just something I noticed with him, like his fastball command just really hasn't been there. And I heard that he had really good numbers in the minors when it came to his fastball. Is not walking hitters. And I just noticed, like, every time he misses, especially with his off-speed stuff, he always misses away, especially with right-handers. I mean, it's not bad to miss away. You're not going to get hurt. But, you got to be able to make your pitch. And his fastball command, too, he just does not pound the zone. He's a nibbler, I noticed. But Tigers lost this game. And then Dougie Fresh, yesterday, throws a gem. And it was 1-1 all day. It was a great game. I mean, you could tell the Tigers wanted to win this, but they wasted a bunch of opportunities to score runs this game. Weaver just stopped them. You got to tip your hat to Weaver. He's one of the best in the game, even though his numbers don't reflect that this year. But Tigers had so many opportunities to score this game, but they just wasted them. The Tigers lead the league in left on base by a good margin. It's not even close. And they could have really put this game out, because Weaver, he was pitching pretty well yesterday, but, he didn't have, like, the dominating curveball he normally does. And his fastball, man, he's lost a lot of velocity on his fastball. The highest fastball he threw yesterday was 86, which is nuts because Weaver used to hit 90. I remember watching a lot of him last year. I don't know if that's just from, being on the disabled list and having a broken arm. I don't know. But the Tigers squandered a bunch of scoring opportunities this game. It was just... They could have avoided the sweep. They really could have, because Doug Fister kept him in that game the entire day. He only gave one earned run, and they got swept. Simple as that. They got swept. The Angels handed us our asses, and not only did we get swept, we lost the season series as well, 8-0. I mean, they absolutely whooped the shit out of us in the season series, and I'm glad we don't play the Angels this year. Just wow. So we leave Comerica Park with our asses just handed to us by the Angels to go face the Tampa Bay Rays. Excuse me. And the Rays this year, their pitching hasn't been extremely well, which is kind of weird for Tampa. They're known as a pitching team. But actually, this year, their offense has been pretty good, which is something they're not typically known for. But pitching this year has not been a strong point for them. This year, they ranked 23rd in ERA, 19th in quality starts, 14th in whip, and 5th in batting average. So that's not usually a Tampa Bay Rays team. You can tell they're missing James Shields, and then David Price not being there, Jeremy Hellickson not having the type of year that we're accustomed to seeing from this point. But Game 1 is Max Scherzer, who's pretty much been our ace this season, against Colomé, I think his name is, Alex Colomé. This year, he is 1-0 with a 0.00 ERA, so obviously he made his first career start the other day. And then Game 2 is JV against Alex Archer, or Chris Archer, I should say. Chris Archer this year is 2-3 with a 4.21 ERA and a WHIP of 1.52. So last start he was pretty good. He went 6 innings, 1 earned run. So hopefully the Tigers can knock him out, because guy with that high of a WHIP and that high of an ERA, the Tigers should be able to beat up on. And Ricky P ends the series against Jeremy Hellickson. And like I said, Hellickson has not had that great of a year from an ERA standpoint. But what are you going to do? I mean, the Tigers, they need to try to salvage this series, because after getting your asses handed to you like the Angels handed them to the Tigers, you need to salvage this series against the Rays to set a good tone for the road trip. That's all I gotta say, man. You gotta salvage this one. Set a good series tone for the road trip, and hopefully have a good one, because this is a long road trip. It's 11 games, and the Tigers typically don't play great on the road, so they got to do something to get a good momentum going, get some wins, start going back together, and head off strong into the All-Star break. So that's all I got for you guys today. And Tiger fans, stop acting like the fucking world's ending, that the season's over. We're still up on Cleveland by 3. You're in first place. You play in the crappiest division in baseball. Just chill out. I mean, goddamn, we're 2.5 up. I mean, goddamn, people just act like it's doomsday every time the Tigers lose a series. I swear to God. So I got for you guys today. Go Tigers.